Good morning, and welcome to Hometown Values with Shoreline Hometown Credit Union, a weekly 5-minute feature here on the Lakeshore's Good Neighbor, WOMT.
Hometown Values, Hometown Rewards.
Welcome back to Hometown Values here every week on WOMT with Kyle from Shoreline Hometown Credit Union. Kyle, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Terry. How's it going today, man?
You know what? I was going to tell you a joke about pizza, but I realized it's just a little cheesy.
It's not worth the slice?
Come on. Oh,
that's better, right?
that's even
Yes,
good.
you get better jokes,
Wow,
man.
get better jokes. Wow. You know what? I'm just going to let you from now on start the show, and I'll just push the buttons, and you just take it from here. That's what I think.
Yeah, that won't work that well. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, we got a guest in the studio this morning. I'll let you introduce our
We
guest.
do. We're doing a little mortgage segment again, and I brought Adria here to talk mortgages with us. Adria, how you doing this morning?
Good. Thank you.
Good
for having
morning.
me. Good
Welcome
morning.
to be here. We were talking off air before the show began that we're going to talk about offer to purchase.
Yes, we
so,
are.
again, a little mortgage series here on the program. What should listeners know about this?
Well, this is the second step to financing your new home. So Brittany talked last month about the pre-approval process.
Yes.
So once you get that pre-approval, once you find a home, you get an accepted offer. All of the parties sign the offer to purchase. Then that's sent over to the mortgage department. And from there, there's some key elements that Brittany and I look at to create your loan. So some of those elements we look at is, what is the purchase price? So what did you end up purchasing
Agreeing
the
to.
house for?
Yeah.
Exactly. And did you stay within your pre-approval that we provided you? That's an important piece.
And if they didn't stay in that, they would just have to be responsible for that difference, correct?
No, not necessarily. They might not qualify for the loan anymore if they're over.
Oh, really?
If it's over debt to income.
Okay.
So they might not qualify.
So I think that's good to know, because I guess
very good to know.
I would have been under the assumption that if you went over, that you were just be responsible for that. But you're basically saying that may now change everything.
It could. And it depends on the pre-approval that we provided you. Did we do the max amount that you could get approved for? Or was it
Gotcha.
just the middle of the road?
Gotcha.
They said that they wanted to look at a home for $175,000, but they were really pre-approved. We could have pre-approved them up to $300,000, but they only wanted the letter for $175,000.
Gotcha.
That's the difference versus
Gotcha.
if they were
If they
the max
maxed out at that,
$175,000
okay.
and then they did $200,000.
Okay.
They might not be able to get the loan.
Okay,
So
good to
there's-
know.
Yep. Then we look at the address. So what's going to be the new address of the home that you're purchasing, because we also pull the property taxes. And if you're escrowing, then we build those property taxes into your monthly payment.
Okay.
So that's good to know.
What if those taxes are higher than what you planned for or budgeted? Like, does that happen often or not necessarily?
Yeah, because we're estimating.
Yeah.
We're trying to estimate based upon what we think it could be. And sometimes if they're looking, Manitowoc Rivers and Green Bay, they're all
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But it does happen. Usually it's not. When it comes to the monthly payment, it could be a few dollars versus you're talking
Gotcha.
hundreds.
Okay,
So that
okay.
usually falls within the limits of what
Okay.
we can approve.
Got you.
Never have an issue there. And then we look at the closing date. So we do like it if you can give us 4 to 5 weeks from the time that you sign the offer to purchase to the time is the closing. Because there are a lot of hands
Yeah.
in this process, because we have to build the loan, you have to sign the initial disclosures, we have to order the appraisal has to be completed. That usually takes about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So people don't really understand all of the
What
hands.
about home inspections? Are those sometimes required or not? Because I know that is kind of changing right now in today's market.
Well, it is not required, but if you would like one, you can have it as part of a contingency to have an inspection.
Okay.
So, and if you do, we ask you get that done right away. So as soon as you sign those an offer to purchase, get that in place, get that scheduled. That you do on your own. That's not part of our process. We order the appraisal for you, but we do not do the inspection.
Gotcha.
So if that's going to hold anything up, that's going to have a
Yeah.
huge impact on the closing
Yeah.
date. Earnest money, we look at how much money are you putting down? How much, and it's not required, so you don't have to put earnest money down, but it is telling the seller how committed you are to this purchase. So if the more money you're putting down, the more committed you are, the more the seller might be
And
apt
does
to
that
choose
earnest
your-
money just go towards the purchase of the house then?
Well, what it does is it goes towards your closing costs. So, for example, if your closing costs were $15,000, you put $2,000 earnest money down. That $2,000 will come off of the closing costs that you're going to be paying on the day of closing. So instead of $15,000, you would bring in $2,000 is your earnest money. You'd bring in $13,000 instead of the $15,000.
Okay.
So that's the nice piece of the earnest money.
A lot of great information here. Time runs by quickly here on
It
today's
does.
program.
It does.
That's why I bring in the experts.
Exactly, right? You know, you're just a talent. You just sit here and
Tell
never
better
mind.
jokes.
There we go.
Whatever.
You guys, we have to get going here, but how do listeners reach out to Shoreline if they want to continue this process with the mortgage through Shoreline?
Yeah, easiest way is to go to shorelinecu.org and hit the mortgage tab. You'll get all the contact information for Adria or Brittany.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for your time. We'll talk to you next Friday morning here on WOMT.
Thanks for listening to Hometown Values with Shoreline Hometown Credit Union. Tune in again next Friday morning at approximately 11:20 for another episode. Or download the podcast anytime at WOMTradio.com. Shoreline Hometown Credit Union, your local hometown credit union focusing on hometown values. Hometown Rewards. You're listening to a C. Hafer broadcasting station.
Shoreline Hometown Credit Union. Hometown values, hometown rewards.